Today, we're learning how to prepare for our first cooking lab by learning about cleaning in the kitchens. When it comes to cleaning in the kitchens will have soap next to all the sinks, and that soap next to every sink is for hand washing only. Underneath the sink, you will find a black bucket. That black bucket can be brought up to the teacher, where they will be given a rag and soap. When you bring that black bucket back to your sink is when you fill it with warm water. There's also a gray tub underneath each sink. If you're the first class in the kitchens, then you will find that the dishes are there for you to use for that lab. But after you take those dishes out, you can use the gray tub to carry dirty dishes back and forth to the washing area. When it comes to hand washing, you always want to make sure you do this when you first enter the kitchen. You want to make sure that if you're touching any raw meats, especially chicken, that you wash your hands after that. And probably the most difficult, but the most common mistake people make is not washing their hands after you've touched your face or your body and even your personal electronic equipment like your cell phone, which should never be in the kitchen. The cell phone's one of the dirtiest things we carry around with us all day. So if you're touching your face because your nose itches or you've coughed into your elbow, you want to make sure you wash your hands. If you've wiped your hands on your body or your apron, go wash your hands. And especially if you've made the mistake of having your cell phone on you in the kitchen, make sure that you wash your hands and then put that cell phone away. When it comes to cleaning, you should clean the sink after everyone washes their hands. That's the head chef's job. Counters should be cleaned after any uncooked meats have touched them. That would be a prep chef's job. And of course, cleaning the counters and everything else after the food has been prepared. When it comes to the gray tubs, if you're the first class of the day, will be full of the dishes and the utensils you need for cooking and eating in that class period. But if you're not the first period of the day, then chances are those dishes have already been used and cleaned and put on the drying rack, but are waiting for you there. And you can still use those gray tubs. And everything goes in and it gets washed by the line chef, except for the stuff that has a plug. If it has a plug, it needs to be wiped down to be cleaned, not taken to the wash area. When you do get to the wash area, there are two different wash areas. There is one near the storage area and kitchen 5, and there is one near the windows next to kitchen 1 and the refrigerator for the classroom. There are 3 tubs at each wash area. The first tub is filled with hot water and soap. And if you've ever washed dishes at home by hand or anywhere else, chances are you've had hot soapy water to get most of the dirt, grease, grime, and food particles that you might find on the equipment. The second tub is filled with cold water, and the only purpose for this tub is to rinse off the soap and water from the first tub. You should never find food particles, grease, or dirt in the second wash tub. What that means is that line chef was not getting everything out in the first tub. And finally, in the third tub, you'll find warm water and a sanitizing solution. And that warm water and sanitizing solution will look like it does nothing when you take those equipment and put it into the tub and then pull it out. But while it may look like it's doing nothing to the eye, if you had a microscope, you could see that it was killing any germs or bacteria that might have been on those dishes that we just didn't get off when we were cleaning it in the first tub. If, when cleaning occurs in the kitchen, you have unused food or ingredients, you want to make sure you bring it back to the teacher. That way we don't waste food and can do more labs in here. And finally, if you have any leftover food, you can always take it home if you have a container to store it in. And if you have an early class, you can store it in the refrigerator until the end of the day. But remember, you must get it at the end of the day before getting on a bus or getting picked up by a parent or walking home. Because at the end of the day, all the leftover food gets thrown out, so that way the refrigerator is empty and ready to go for the next class on the next day.